Hey there! How you doing? Bobby Dirkens here. Well, I'm previewing the Clemson at Georgia Tech game. While I'm at it, play some super fine teams. Hey, man, good to see all of you joining me right now. Yeah, just playing around, playing some guitar. Hey, Gabe. Hey, 81 Tigers, Cody, George. I always liked that song, Footloose. Good to see you, Philip. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm going to play a little. See if I can play Footloose for you. Something I... Yeah, I'm feeling it. Oh, Lord, good to see you. Good to see you. I tell you right now, Justin Garrison's on, Aaron's on here, everybody's saying me there to me. We're all getting together. This is the most wonderful time of the year, college football season. Lord, hey, there's Toreen Davis. Me there, how you doing? I'm doing good. How you doing? I like that. Fired up. We're going to talk about Clemson. We've been waiting for this. And thank you, George. Thank y'all. Thank you so much. I just want to let y'all know, as I was saying, this is the most wonderful time of the year. We got through that pesky off season. We had to put up with no football. Hey, Bryson. Baseball. We still got baseball. How many games of baseball can you have? SEC dog, I've actually heard a few people say that. Please, don't beat Paul Johnson too bad. They might let him go. Well, thank you, buddy, for Bowser Nation for sharing that with you. I know you're Clemson J now, and thank you so much. We're here, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Everybody, I know everybody joined on to see this and stop with my foolishness. Let's go ahead and talk about it. According to Vegas, Clemson is a 16.5-point favorite. Between you and I, if Clemson had their offensive identity figured out, and I don't know what they're waiting for because they're stacked the most I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've been a Clemson fan since I can remember. I didn't become a fan when Deshaun Watson showed up or when Tosh Boyd showed up. I've been a Clemson fan. The majority of me pulling for Clemson has been a massive heart attack waiting to happen. I mean, if I just killed over and sold my pants, wouldn't be surprised. Because I've been a true fan, and it has sucked for the majority of the time up until the past 7 years. You've had little dots of moments that was enjoyable, like at 2003 when we finally beat Florida State for the first time since they joined the conference. They went on to beat number 6 Tennessee in what was then the Peach Bowl, and that's when we thought, something big was about to happen. Of course, that's what we got for thinking, and it took us, 12 years later to be relevant. No, Clemson, if they found their identity offensively, let's go ahead and let everything be what it is. Hey, Space Mountain. The truth is, instead of 16.5-point favorite, it'd be about a 30-point favorite. For those of you who do not know, Kervontae Benson, the running back for Georgia Tech, he's out for the rest of the year. His knee's gone. I hate that for him. Hey, Andrew Odom. Tiger Nation, man, how you doing? Richard Neal, good to see you. Richard, no, they don't play football. Georgia Tech doesn't play football. But they'll be more than happy to tell you about the academic standards in which they're very proud about. Just ask them on ACC football, the media day. That was great. Nothing says I give up in football like talking about your academic standards. Georgia, you're pretty close there. I think so. I think so there. Taquan Marshall's thrown 4 interceptions this season. Uh, I mean, I don't know why everybody's all upset about that. Tim Forston, go Dogs. Good to see you, Tim. Glad you joined me, buddy. I heard somebody talking about Taquan Marshall threw 4 interceptions. Heck, I didn't know they threw over 4 passes this entire year. I mean, it is what it is. Cersei's back. Taquan Marshall's running the ball. It just is what it is. This is. Let's go ahead and recap what Georgia Tech has done this season. Played Alcorn State, big woo, beat the crap out of them. They were at USF and was actually beating USF and then blew it and lost. Andrew Odom, good to see you, buddy. Chris Harper, it's good to see you. Pigskin Pete, the man. I'm about to quote you. You just hang on to your underwear. SEC Dog, I'll give you that prediction. You remind me in a second. Jack Ricker. Like you, buddy. Like that name reminds me of Jack Ritter. Come and knock on our door. We'll be waiting for you. And these words I really don't know. The words Three's Company 2. Ba, 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 ba. Glad to hear. And then they played Pittsburgh. At Pittsburgh, they lost to them. James Barnett, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. I love you joining up here. If I'd have known we all gonna show up, we could have had our wife cook something good, and we could all got together and eat it. But forget that idea. So they're going to be playing Clemson. Now there's a lot of people. Talking about Georgia Tech and Clemson. You know, when you're a Clemson fan, especially what's happened the past 2 years, they lost to Syracuse, and we never thought that would, happen. Pigskin Pete, everybody, y'all be praying for him. Man's about to tear the lining out of his bowel system, and I beg to God his sewage is good. He's going to eat some Mexican. You know, I walked in the restroom the other day, and I smelled something. Y'all, I've been in several restrooms, as you can imagine. Probably you too, unless you're weird or something. And I went in the restroom, and I'm hunkering down on the toilet myself, but I smelled something. The guy beside me, and I know this is going far for some people, but understand my heart. It's all about my heart. I hope that man has a disease. Because if he doesn't, civilization sucks as a whole. You hear somebody say, don't talk about how that smells. There could be something wrong with him. I hope there's something wrong with him. And get it cleared up. I'll tell you, I smelled dookie before. Nothing like that. Nothing. Not even remotely close to what I smelled the other night. Was it the Gamecock fan? Probably so. Probably flipped around and pecked his own dookie. Because that's all they're good at. That and exaggerating everything and being delusional. Talking trash to 3-year-old little girls. And all of you in the lust of the flesh over Suzanne Summers. I think she's 700 now. I mean, if you're going to lust after somebody, at least not lust after somebody that's, spokesman for Geritol and adult diapers. Georgia Tech, Syracuse proves last year. Syracuse, love you too, 19 Savage. Syracuse has proved that anything can happen. Pittsburgh come down here, ran up a bunch of yardage on who would be the national champions, right? They proved it can happen. So for me to look at you and say that there's no chance on any planet within this universe that they could beat Clemson, I would have to be turning my head to reality, to history. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Clemson's not losing in Atlanta this weekend. They're not. Georgia Tech is on the down spiral. I've been saying this for years. For a very long time, y'all, that this offensive attack was going to come to a spiraling halt. And that was during about the time that Georgia Tech won the ACC championship. And the truth is that I got a lot of flack for it. If you listen to local in upstate South Carolina, if you listen to some of the local guys, they on the radio, they're talking about how Paul Johnson is just the greatest coach in America. And look, I'm not saying that he's not a good coach with his style. I'm just saying that style, unless you have Nebraska 95, you're not doing nothing today with it. You're not. And then what went on in media day where they talked about how proud of their academics they was, good luck on that one. Because nothing starts waving the white flag, like talking about your academic standards. Just saw somebody said you just started watching me. Thank you for starting watching me. Keep watching me. Now, listen to me. You keep showing up, I'll keep showing out. Bobby Dirkens. But you know that a team is going down the doo-doo chute when they start talking about how good their academics is on their football academic day. Or football, not academic day. Y'all got my mind flipped around. All y'all talking about Suzanne Somers and how hot she is. I'm just like, Lord. About to grab my guitar and start singing over here. Georgia Tech was hurting before they lost Benson. They're really hurting now. Clemson needs to come out, play football, stay healthy, don't get hurt, and get out of this game. We know what's going on. Tiger Nation says Paul Johnson must know a secret on somebody. That's the reason he still has his job. Could be. It could also be that Georgia Tech is just in a state of depression. He's just in a state of, Georgia Tech's in a state of depression. You know, go eat some grapes, Bob Shaw. I'm right, and if you disagree, you're wrong. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, Pigskin Pete. If you don't know him, are you a communist? Go sub him. Even if you leave for a second and then come back. Please come back. But go sub him and turn on your notifications, because that lets you know when he's on. Pigskin Pete is great, and I'm not saying that because he's here. He does a good job. There's other guys I don't agree with, but I like him. Papa Bob. Good to see you, Papa Bob. Cousin Big Dog Tojo. I'm random. I know I should be more specific on my times, but Bobby Dirkens Jr., I just tell you, they mess up my times. I just have to show up sporadically. I'm sorry. I know everybody else has got times, but oh, Bobby here, I tell you, if my head wasn't screwed on my neck, I'd have to JB weld this thing to my shoulders. Clemson has Syracuse next week. Next week is when Syracuse is all going to die because they're going to pay for what they did last year. But the truth is that this week they have Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech. And here's the truth. Here's the truth about what's going on with Georgia Tech. Their football team, their football program, they're dead in the water. I remember a day when they could have when they had, a chance to win some games. But now they're talking about how great their academic standards, which is also known as we give up, we wave the white flag. Georgia's down the road, they're exploding. You got Clemson an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes that way. Hey, Jace the Tiger, good to see you. I'm Bobby the Dirkens. But you got Clemson right up the road from you. It's absolutely killing it. If you go down this way, you got Auburn. Auburn's, I mean, they're schizophrenic, but they got good talent. Going down the road from them, you got Alabama. What do you have to talk about if you're Georgia Tech other than what was 1990 and your basketball team that used to be good and that you're in Midtown Atlanta? There's absolutely nothing left in there. So just Clemson, and here's the thing, this is more about Clemson than it is Georgia Tech. If you're a Georgia Tech fan and you tuned in and you thought I was going to talk some statistics with you, here's your statistics. You're 1-2. Your team looks like they're flabbergasted. Your coach has basically taught your school into accepting that there's no other way for you. You're not going to get any better anytime soon unless y'all bring in some basket weaving and some sociology, academic standards, degrees, offerings. You know, I don't know how to pet a dog degree. Unless you can get that, he can't get any players in there. And even if he could get the players in there, I'm sorry, I just don't see them winning with that particular offense. Last team that was that good was 20 years ago. Actually longer than that, about 22, 23 years ago. That was Nebraska. Nebraska was the last team to run the option, and if you go back and look at their rosters, it was Sick who was playing for them. They could have ran everything, anything, any type of scheme, and with those players, they were winning. Go ask Florida. Savannah Barnett, I'll get that guitar out in just a second. And I tell you right now, I'll play the prettiest song since Hank Williams partied. Let's do it right now. Do you want to drink? Do you want to party? Yeah, we do. With you, Hank. Can't play more than that or else they'll... all of a sudden they'll try to make me pay royalties for singing that too little bit. I might need to delete this and start over. James Barnett, I love you. It's good to see you. Thank y'all all for saying me there to me. Here's the deal. Georgia Tech, you're done. You're done. You're 1-2. You're about to go 1-3. You lost one of your best players. Everybody leave Taquan Marshall alone. I'm going to take up for him. I'm going to clean up this saying, but we all know this saying. Don't try to get me, don't give me chicken dookie and try to get me to make chicken salad out of it. There's a dirtier version of that. You don't know me, I keep a clean mouth. Right now, they backed the porta potty up to him and said, game plan and all, here's your team. Win. Cody Clark. About to be. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. That could be a good game. Mississippi State at Kentucky. Probably better than Tennessee and Florida. Georgia Tech's going to lose this ball game. If Clemson comes in there, and this second half, ball to Bigfoot. Hey, Bob, what's up about Georgia Tech going down? I'm from Georgia and can't stand them. Me neither. Bobby Dirkens. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. This last part's going to be about Clemson. And I said I was going to quote Pigskin Pete, and I'm going to quote him starting now. Yesterday, he did a broadcast. If you hadn't watched it, go back and watch it. Seriously, it was really good. I mean, he threw down on a bunch of teams. But the thing is, he wasn't throwing down a bunch of stupidity. He was telling the truth. It just hurts. It's kind of like those morons who says, don't say it like that. It makes me sound bad. So I'm telling the truth and it makes you feel bad. Then I think somebody should change the truth, shouldn't they? Had a buddy of mine told me this. Blew my mind. Felt like I was talking to Gandhi. Only redneck version of him. Said, you know, if you ever want to make a decision and take your feelings out of it, write down on a piece of paper. Just get a clean white sheet of paper, get you a black pen, you write out exactly what you're thinking, read it back to you. It takes all the emotion out of it. Don't even write any cuss words in it. Just be straight up. Just write down what it is. And the truth will stare you in the face. You may not like what's on that piece of paper, and you might rip it up, might even go wipe with it, and flush it down the toilet, and then eventually stop up your good sewage pipes. But you will know the truth because you took your emotions out of it. Here's the truth about Clemson. Quoting Pigskin Pete. They need to unleash the beast. They have all these players. They are stacked. Dabo Swinney has admitted this is the most complete team he has ever had. I know you're sitting there going, well, didn't they have Deshaun Watson a couple of years ago? Mike Williams? Yeah, they did. But if you go back and you look at that team, even though they won the national championship, there were still holes in it left and right. Remember the loss to Pittsburgh? Remember the close game with Louisville? You remember there was a lot of close games. Clemson almost lost to Troy the very same year they won the national championship. There was offensive inconsistencies then. Now we have more than we've ever had. More players. We are stacked from top to bottom with wide receivers. We have 4 running backs that 3 of them are incredible, and one of them is very talented. The truth is, listen to me, the truth is, right now, I'm glad everybody's getting to play. I'm glad they're getting experience. Here's the moves you need to do. You need to go ahead and say, all right, if we want to play Kelly some, we play him a little bit, but overall, Trevor, you're getting 75% of the snaps. Kelly, we may bring you in on some running packages according to who we're playing, but overall, this is Trevor's team. Next, the next person who calls a tunnel screen, a bubble screen, more than once in a game, we fire them. We have weapons upon weapons. That game against Georgia Southern, we should have beat the living piss out of them. We played around with them. Texas A&M, they did come in. They did play us hard. They had no business going down to the wire with us. We should have won by at least 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry. That's the truth. Hey, SEC football team. May there. Throw the ball downfield. You've got a guy who in an elite count threw a 70-yard all-air bomb. You've got a guy who in that same arm is so accurate that he could actually knock the whiskers off of your grandma's lips away, 30 yards away. Everybody's asking me their thoughts on some other games. I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm also going to do a preview of some games coming up either tomorrow night or Friday. George says, that's awful. That's hilarious, George. He's... that guy. Anyway... here's the deal. Clemson, you need to open up a can from this point on. Don't give Georgia Tech, Syracuse, at Wake Forest, NC State, what's left of Florida State, Louisville, at Boston College, Duke, South Carolina. You don't need to give them any hope. I said this about Alabama last weekend. I said, and you can go back and listen to a call-in show I was on, Volunteer Roadshow. Go check him out if you don't know him. You're missing out. Go sub him. I was on his call-in show Friday night. Called in. Just out of nowhere. He didn't know I was calling in. I called in. And I told him, I said, Alabama is not going to sit here and keep listening to, oh, we got a good little rivalry going on with Ole Miss. They beat you in 14 and 15, last time I checked, that was 3 and 4 years ago. It's over with. You murdered them last year. You're going to murder them this year. And everybody thought, oh, boy, I tell you, Ole Miss is looking good. Oh, they're looking good. And Tugala went out there and stomped their heads in the ground, and they didn't let up. It was 62-7. Clemson needs to do that. Clemson dropped from second to third because Georgia's playing strong and Alabama's playing strong. And if you don't like that, that's a problem. That's like a guy I know, he went looking for his family tree. You know, he went on one of those websites, paid a lot of money, come back, it looked like a stick. But if you met them and saw the deformity, he's also got a kid. That's what you get for procreating with your first cousin. Got a head, that hand, he's adorable. You slap 5 with him, it's weird. Clemson, open up the playbook. Don't say, oh, we're saving our good stuff till later. How do you know if you can execute the good stuff later if you're never using it? You got the talent, bury teams. You can bury them and get them off the field, and then you give everybody all the playing time they want. I am thankful for our coaching staff. I've said that 100 times, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I've seen this little game go on before. Acting like we don't know what to do. Oh, we're hiding stuff and this, that, and the other. No, you're not. You're setting yourself up for another upset. I don't think it's going to be Saturday, but I can pick about 3 games right now that they could, 2 games especially, that they could get upset on. Wake Forest and Boston College, like that. Clemson could get upset on. They are head and shoulders more talented than both those teams, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. Clemson's playing around. They're going to have problems if they don't open it up. SEC team says they might lose South. They ain't losing South Carolina. I don't care if I have to run out butt naked on the field, start shooting a gun, pump gun. Cousin Big Dog, Tojo, you were saying that y'all need to throw down the field. I've been hearing people talk about that as well. You need to throw down the field. Here's the deal. You hear people saying that you're dogging on your team and everything. No. I'm sitting here saying I'm pulling for my team. Guys, you have more talent than anybody. You can murder teams. You can murder them. I mean, come on, man. Get them off the field. Take their hope away. It's hard for a team to upset you when you're beating them by 35. Never seen that happen. I know you can say, well, you know, there were some of those sucky bowl games that nobody cares about where that come back from. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real good football teams going out and playing and just absolutely dropping their doors and laying a peanut-filled turd on top of them. Tiger Nation, you're right. We have so much stuff going on. We're throwing the ball. This is what happens when you get sucked into that bubble screen stuff. Oh, they throw the block and they do this and they do that. Yeah, you have to have your wide receivers consistently throwing blocks. Good way to get them injured. Run them downfield. Go up 21-0 on a team in the first 10 minutes of the ball game, and they look at each other and they go, holy crap, we're not winning this game. No, you're not winning this game. But you sit there and you play around and you fart around. You give teams hope. And you go down to College Station. You already get a team who's psyched up to play you and a coach who wants to pay you back almost beat you. Let's talk about a few games. Of course, I'm going to do a preview. Clemson's going to win this ball game. I'm just begging them in God that somebody will go ahead and make an ultimate decision that we're going to stop throwing this tunnel screen crap. I was at the Virginia Tech game back when Rob Spence was a coordinator for Clemson back in some of Bowden's last days, and threw a pass out to Ty Hill. Clemson was going from what's now the West End's all headed towards the hill. They were on about their own 25-yard line. And Bud Foster had seen that little tunnel screen enough, that little bubble screen out there. You know, I know they're different, but they're basically a lot the same. You can just keep running. People can start to read them. Here's the deal. Threw the ball out there. I can't remember his name. He's one of the big players from Virginia Tech. Great cornerback. Hated his guts. He was so good. He knocked Ty Hill out of the game. He hit him so hard. But you know why? Because he knew what was coming. You play good football teams, they know what's coming. That's why Bama embarrassed Clemson. They're a great football team. They knew what was coming. They were sitting there looking at each other going, they've got all, I bet you Saban was sitting there laughing going, they've got all that talent and they continue to do that. That's funny. That's funny. And then we had the excuse that it was Kelly. Kelly can't throw it downfield. Well, maybe he doesn't have the arm that Lawrence does, but here's the thing I will tell you. You work with what you got, and now we see that we, thank you, buddy. Well, now we got a guy who has an arm who can not only throw it a mile, he can, literally, he can knock the wings off of a gnat 40 yards across the field, rolling out of bounds. Nail it. And we have the receivers to make that kind of catch. Not one of them, not two of them, several of them. Tall, short, thin, kind of fat. Not really. We have no excuses, what I'm saying. And we're still calling those same plays. Look, y'all. Look. I may not went to Harvard, but I ain't an idiot. At least when it comes to football. Josh Pinion, hey there. Good to see you. Throw the ball downfield. Then you spread them out, and guess what happens? You end up handing it off to one of our outrageous running backs. And guess what? There's room. I'll tell you exactly what I'd do if I had just a decent team, just a solid team on a scale of 1 to 10. They're about a 5 or a 6. And I was playing Clemson. I'd stack a box on them. And then I'd stack the box, and I'd tell my linebackers, just be mindful out there, and I'd tell my corners, just be mindful that tunnel screen's coming. Tunnel screen's coming. We're gonna stack. We're gonna make them throw the ball, but we know the tunnel screen's coming. Yeah, they're going to throw that one shot downfield every now and again, but if it hits the ground, they're just going to continue to throw that tunnel screen. You just go out there and just sit and wait. That's what Georgia Southern did. Well, Justin Ross, he missed that block. He was supposed to get shut up. I'm tired of that crap. I don't buy it. Now, listen, Josh Pinion, appreciate you, and I'm glad you're on here. This paw ain't going nowhere. I'm going to keep it right here where it should be, over my heart. Clemson wins, just hoping that they open it up. Let's talk about some games everybody cares and semis not to care about. I do have the college football lines pulled up from a couple of sites right now. Let's look at this thing. Here we go. There was Tulane at Ohio State. Isn't it funny? Urban Meyer's back just in time to be able to, brush the rust off and everybody boo at him one good time. Have a women's march, try to keep him from getting in there. But at the end of it, he'll kind of get settled in, kind of get some play calling just in time for them to play Penn State next week in Happy Valley. Notre Dame's at Wake Forest. That's about 4 hours from us. Notre Dame's a 7.5 to 8 point favorite. Boston College is a 6.5 point favorite at Purdue. Let's keep going. Georgia's at Missouri. That could be interesting. As I said, I'm gonna do a little preview the next couple of days. But I do want to hit up the games y'all been asking me about. Of course, Texas A&M at Alabama. Texas A&M is a 26-point underdog. If Bama comes out and murders them, of course it's at Tuscaloosa, but if they come out and they murder them, it is what it is. SEC Football Tube is making a video. Y'all need to go check him up. Hey, DeAndre Crawford, good to see you, man. There, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, Texas A&M. You watch them get blown out, and then everybody in Clemson's going to be sitting there going, what happened was? I think A&M come out ready to play you, but I also think you're calling You didn't want to throw the ball downfield. Let's see. Mississippi State at Kentucky. Mississippi State is a 10-point favorite going into Kentucky. This is one of those games that I think that Kentucky, because that they're on the home field, you'd like to say after what they've done so far, that maybe they would actually win this game. But I think Mississippi State they're trying to bowl through their seasons and what's going on. Try to win the games they're supposed to win and compete in the games they don't supposed to win in. So big story there. I do think Mississippi State will win that game, but I could see that being a good game. Arkansas at Auburn. God, Arkansas is a dumpster fire. Dear God, horrible. No matter who they pay to come down there and coach, it's awful. Let's get to that Tennessee game. Florida at Tennessee. Florida's a 4.5-point favorite right now. Let's talk about that real quick. As I said, I'm going to preview some of these games from the next video, but I will tell you this right now. Florida at Tennessee. I think Tennessee might win this game, but it's just like, to me, it's like somebody saying, I think I have the virus, and it's at the beginning of it, and you look at them and you say, well, do you think you have the pukies or do you have the dookies? And they say, wait, let me see. Either way, you lose. Although I'd rather have the dookies than the pukies. I don't mind sitting on the toilet. When I'm hugging the toilet and having to puke into it and pray to anything I'd listen and I'd get better, not too much fun. Florida at Tennessee, both teams, if you go back 20 years ago, Tennessee was fantastic. Florida was outrageous. FSU was incredible. All right? And Nebraska was really good. We fast forward 20 years. And they look like a bunch of blind kids in a confined space, not knowing where they're at, and somebody saying, on the whistle, when I blow the whistle, and you hear it, just run. That's what they look like. It's like an old man having two ugly daughters. But one's kind of is less ugly than the other, and then she looks and says, which one's the prettiest of us? And he blows his brains out. That's what this game is. Well, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and close down. I hear Bonnie Dirkens and Bobby Dirkens Jr. They are here. It's time for me to go eat. It's time for me to go hang out with them. Remember, hit the subscribe button. Tell your mama. Tell your clergyman. Tell the guy who takes out the trash for you. Tell your mistress about me. Everybody, subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Remember, I am on Twitter at B Dirkens, Dirkens, or at the B Dirkens, at the Bobby Dirkens on Instagram. Everybody, I'm Bobby Dirkens, and I'm just I've already said, but I'm rolling out a new slogan. I'm Bobby Dirkens. You keep showing up, and I'll keep showing out. Bobby Dirkens.